Hey, this is James Francis and I hope you're having a great day so far. Now I'm sure you're aware that I have a live webinar coming up which is the 9 mistakes most beginners are making in their online business. However, I realised I made a massive mistake, and what that was I've forgotten the most critical mistake that most beginners make. So instead of adding that into the webinar slides in preparation for the webinar coming up and making the whole thing 3 billion hours long and you falling asleep halfway through because it's so long, I thought I'd prefer to deliver this video to you right now just to give you a taster of what to expect when you attend live on that webinar coming up. Okay, awesome. So as well as that, you know, it sounds a lot better to have 9 critical mistakes instead of 10, right? It sounds a lot more cool. Anyway, so that one thing is that big critical mistake is that beginners tend to focus on too many different things or create multiple websites at the same time. Okay, so if you imagine on a daily basis how many different business opportunities are presented to you, whether it's in your email inbox or on Facebook or on any kind of social media or YouTube even, you know, any sort of medium, you are exposed to multiple different business models, multiple different strategies and tactics and loopholes to revolutionize your business overnight and all that good stuff, which is going to make cash fall from the sky into your lap, of course, which doesn't exist. But it's still tempting to look at those things and to diversify your business too much. Okay, so most people justify that with the logic that yes, you should justify your business because it's better to be diversified in terms of your income. So if one of the methods fails, then you have something to fall back on. But the reality is when you're starting a business, that's the fastest way to go broke. Okay? That only applies when you have an already successful business, then you diversify. So you make the business successful first and then you diversify, okay? It's a pretty important step there. Now, what most people do is they have their hands in all these different honeypots. They have an opportunity over here that maybe they're in an MLM of some kind, and then they are, you know, focusing on how to make money with clickbank products, you know, promoting affiliate offers maybe, and then they want to create their own products at the same time. And I do realise like I'm doing the Macarena here or something, but that's just how it is, right? And I promise you I'm not, but that will be in the after hours video of this version, the version of this video, right? So anyway, they have all these different opportunities available to them, but they're not really sure what to go to, what to focus their efforts on, so they just focus on all of them at the same time. And they try and juggle all of these different business models, different websites, and even some people promote the fact that they should create different websites because it means that you only need to set up the website once and just duplicate it over and over again. In other words, spam the internet with websites. And that's not a great thing to do because once you create a website, people don't just sort of flock to that website, especially if it's only focused around 1 or 2 articles. Google, for one thing, which is the main argument of why people do this, is that, oh, it's good for Google. But in reality, Google is getting much smarter and they don't really care about small websites anymore. They are more focused on the authority websites and more likely to rank those. Anyway, we don't focus on SEO in anything I do. I hate the fact that you're reliant on somebody else. I'd much rather be in control of how many sales I'm making, but that's another story for another video, right? So what most people do is they have all these different business models, you know, as I mentioned, they have a MLM maybe or some other aspect or some sort of different niche that they're in, and this even applies to niches as well. You know, they may be in different niches, and if this is resonating with you right now, listen up, this is important. So you only need to focus on one website in one niche, in one sub-niche. That's it, okay? So choose one business model with one website in one niche with one piece of free content to begin with to create that introduction with your prospects, which will encourage people to opt in for that piece of free content. You build your list and make sales in the process when you follow the right steps. So you shouldn't be doing that with multiple different niches, multiple different websites. Just create the one domain name, one website, and everything else. One of everything. 1 is the magic number, okay? Not 3, not 7, not 12. 1, okay? And yes, I know it is very tempting to just, you know, try one thing and then if it doesn't work out, move on to the next. And they have this commitment issue. So most people think of it from the perspective that if I get some results, then I will commit myself to that one website. Otherwise, I'll continue making these different websites in different niches until I see results, and then I'll commit to that specific one, because after all of them, it must be working out well with that specific one. But the reality is that's not going to happen. You'll just be doing that over and over and over and over again because the commitment should come first. okay, not after. So results only happen when you are committed to getting them. So you get the results first. That will again, prove to you even more that this is going to work for you, and of course it will when you apply yourself in the right way. But you need to focus on just that one thing. I mean, I always say to people, my clients, that it's the equivalent of owning multiple cars. Right now outside I have a Maserati Gran Turismo S and a Range Rover Sport. Now, if I was to just have the one car, I would only have one lot of tax to pay on the car, one lot of servicing, maintenance fees, MOT, which we have in the UK, which is like a health check of the car every year, and just maintenance in general. Things break down in the car and you need to get them fixed, right? But if you have multiple cars, imagine the costs and how they change. They just multiply, right? You multiply them by 2 because you have 2 cars. Same thing applies when you're in 2 niches. You have to invest as much money as you would in just the one, but in 2 websites instead. So you have to have, for example, going past $10,000 per month, you need to have multiple staff members in 2 businesses instead of just the one. At the lower end of things, when you're just getting started, you may need to have 2 domain names that you're paying for. You may need to have 2 sets of web hosting, and the costs mount up. And there's no benefit of doing that, because instead it's much better to just focus on that one website in just the one niche. Okay, so hopefully that helped. If you did like this video and you haven't already signed up for the upcoming webinar, then go ahead and click the button below this video to sign up for that webinar, because I can guarantee it's going to be amazing. There are 9 other things that I will be telling you, just like this one, and some more mindset stuff as well, which is very powerful for beginners, in addition to some other more practical things as well. So I hope to see you there. I look forward to helping you with that, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. Leave a comment below as well if you want to, if you just thought it was valuable or whatever, and I look forward to seeing you on the webinar. Speak to you soon. Bye bye.